Hey ladies, this is April and I'm here to talk to you about another Tuesday training. This week we are addressing the importance of goal setting for female entrepreneurs. And right now, at the recording of this video, it is in the middle of August. So that means that we have about 3 more months to really kill those initial goals that you set for yourself for the beginning of the year. And I want to know how you're doing with these. Did you get sidetracked over the summer when your kids were out of school? Did maybe something come up in your personal life? Or, did you decide to add 10 more things onto your to-do list? So definitely leave me comments and let me know how you're doing on your goals. And then let's take these strategies that I'm about to talk to you about and let's go ahead and apply them so that you can really get back on track and that you can master these goals for the rest of your year. So there are 5 essential steps to crushing your goals. And if you're watching this video inside the blog, you see some of the other things that I say to you about goals in here. And I really feel strongly that the reason why many women don't achieve their goals is because they're so high up there. They're so high up on this mountain and we put them on such a pedestal that it's almost like idolatry, and we don't get to the point where we feel almost like we're worthy. There's sometimes this weird sabotage that goes on in ourselves that we don't feel worthy. We have these mental blocks of success. And so I want you to blow those out of the water. Know that you are enough, you're worthy, you're called to do what you're doing for a reason, and you deserve to reach the prize, whatever that prize is. But today, we're really going to talk about how to get there, the strategic steps that are non-emotional to get you there. So the very first thing that I want you guys to do is I want you to think about what is it that you want to achieve by the end of this year, by the end of this calendar year. And again, if you're watching this live as it comes out, we have about 3 months left. But you guys can also apply this if you see this video at any other time in the year. And I want you to set the goal of what a successful year would look like for you. And the keys to do it are these 5 steps. And we're going to walk you through each one. And then I have a little guide download that you guys can go ahead and work through, a little worksheet for you too here that'll be really helpful. The first thing is to make your goals realistic. And I'm not saying that you can't choose more than one goal, but give yourself something that you can achieve. You know, if you want to launch multiple online courses and multiple brands, you're probably not going to do that well if you're trying to do it within even 1 year's time. Let's go ahead and scale it back and think about what is the number one thing that you really want and need to achieve within your business. What is the one thing that on New Year's Eve, if you're sitting there, you're going to be able to look back and go, I did that. I accomplished that. I needed to do it and I killed it and I did it. And that's the thing that I want you to use for this goal setting exercise. It might be launching your website. It could be launching your company. It could be launching a new service or launching a blog or a podcast. It could be something really big and awesome, but make sure it's realistic, okay? Step number 2, I'm looking at my notes here because I have so much good stuff for you guys today. Step number 2 was pick only one. So we just crossed 2 birds off with that one. Pick only one. I want you to go through this exercise with one because I want you to have the opportunity to achieve that and know what that feels like. And once you've mastered the strategy of going through and taking the steps to reach these goals, then you can go ahead and start multitasking with other things that you'd like to achieve. Step number 3, you guys need to write out and define what that end result looks like. The same way that you need to develop a service for your business, you need to write out the description of what the end looks like, what success looks like to you. And here is why. Not because you need to share it with anybody else, but because we women, creative women entrepreneurs, have a tendency to get more creative and we want to do something better and we want to add on more, and maybe we've seen some other ideas from other businesses along the way, and all of a sudden along this road of reaching this goal we have dumped more and more and more things onto that end result. And Not that we can't do that, because that's how we create awesome services. But I don't want you to judge obtaining your goal by the things that you've picked up along the road. So it's really important that you define your goal and right now what success looks like to you. And again, not that you can't work towards adding those other things into your goal processes, but I want you to know that this is what I needed to achieve at this point in time. These are the goals at the end, and yes, I did it. And the reason for that is that we are terrible at congratulating ourselves. We always want to do better. We always think that we need to do more. It's just what comes along with being a mom and an entrepreneur. There's always more we should be doing or could be doing or want to be doing. So it's incredibly important that you guys write down what success in goal attainment looks like. Write the definition of that down. So, for example, if you're launching a digital program, success might look like you've written out the copy of that program and you've gotten all the graphics done for that program, and the program has been uploaded to your website and all of the software and IT components are talking to each other. It might not include a whole entire Facebook Live campaign or bringing partners in to, promote that program. Those are other things that you probably picked up along the road. So I hope that helps you define what I'm talking about when the reason why I want you to lay out the definition of your achieving your goals. Step number 4, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to set monthly sub goals. So you're going to work backwards. So in order to achieve your defined goal, you need to work backwards and say to yourself, okay, if I'm going to achieve this, then I need to achieve these steps before then. In order to have a launched digital product, I need to write the copy. I need to do the design. I need to do the research on this. I need to figure out what problem I'm solving. And you see how I'm working backwards from there? Let me give you another example. If you are launching your website, if you're a new business and you're launching your website, if that goal is to launch your website, by the end of this year, let's say 3 months from now, then you'll define that. Want to launch the website with these components. Make sure you specifically define that as in step number 3. And then for step number 4, you're going to say, okay, in order to launch my website, 4 weeks before that, I need to have this done. I need to have all my photography in line. I need to have my graphics in line. I need to, have all of my web copy written. 4 weeks before that, you need to hire a web designer if that's what you're doing, or hire a graphic designer. 4 weeks before that, you need to build the wireframe of your website. You need to figure out how you want it to function and where you want people to click and actually build out that map, that site map. So those are examples of reverse engineering steps. Now, you'll see why setting smaller goals that are quarterly or even yearly goals are more manageable than setting goals that are 5 years out. Now, of course, we all have goals that are 5 and 10 years out, but honestly, I don't really see those as goals. I see those as visions of where we want to be and things we want to accomplish by then. I know that that's how I personally, view them. And goals are really tangible things that you can check off a list. And again, step number 3, they're defined, okay? And goals mark the end of something. Your business isn't the end of something. And so I want you to see goals a little bit differently here. I want you to see goals as a line in the road that you cross, and then you're just going to set another line and another line. If you set your goals up on a pedestal and they aren't living, breathing, active things that require your attention on a daily or weekly basis, you're not going to get to them. And so again, in order to make these tangible, we took this higher goal that we defined, and now we have gone into dividing it into subcategories per month. And then the last step, like I just alluded to, are setting weekly things that you absolutely have to achieve in order to reach those monthly goals. not to reach the big goal. We're not talking about the end result goal. In order to achieve what you've set out to achieve on a monthly basis, you need to set weekly goals that you have to do. Let me give you another example of this at this particular level for step number 5. If you want to, let's use that website. If you're launching your website in 3 months and you have worked backwards and you have set your goals of what you need to accomplish, that month prior you need to have all your photography for your website, and the month before that you need to have all your web copy, and then the month before that you need to hire your designer and lay out your wireframe. So for that first month, hiring your designer and laying out your wireframe, you should have weekly tasks of researching website templates, sitting down really with yourself and digging into your ICA and trying to realize what your ideal client needs to experience when she comes to your website, what you want her, the feelings you want her to have when she comes to your website. And then maybe the next week, after you figure that out, you'll be thinking about what colors you want her to have. And then the next week, you're going to start calling designers on the phone and being able to articulate these initial thoughts and these initial ideas with a web designer that you would hire. So in month number 1, if your goal was to write out your wireframe and hire a web designer, you've done that. Yep, check. Great. See how easy they are to accomplish when you guys break them up into itty-bitty bite-sized pieces. So everything I have for you today, sorry I'm a little long-winded, but everything I have for you today is going to be about how to take these larger goals, define them, and I have a worksheet for you that's going to help you break them up into these subtasks and then smaller tasks that need to be accomplished on a weekly basis. Now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this process. Please just pick one thing that you want to accomplish, because the most important thing for me to have you guys feel and accomplish through this is knowing that you can do it, knowing that it's manageable. We're going to pull those goals off of these huge, high, mountain peaks, and we're going to bring them back into your business in an everyday, tangible way with action items that you have to accomplish on a weekly basis. That's how you guys get there. That's how you're going to see your results that you want to. And if you're having trouble with scheduling and accomplishing those things on a weekly basis, then go back to the lesson that I taught on block calendar scheduling here in the Tuesday training and apply some of those strategies to your weekly task list. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. I'm so excited to see what you build. Definitely leave me messages and comments here or on my Facebook page. Let me know how you're doing with your goal setting. And I would love to know what goals you guys chose to go ahead and master for the rest of this year. I'll see you in another Tuesday training. Bye-bye.